Here's why you soon won't be able to build your own PC anymore. For plenty of us out there, the power to customize our own computing experience is the closest we'll get to boomer independence milestones like building our own house. And if you want a truly high-performance machine for specialized tasks like gaming or video rendering, investing the time, know-how, and money to assemble your own hardware from scratch is often the best choice, even if it ends up costing you $4,000. And generative AI is about to steal it from you. That's right, the same technology that is generating shareholder value like crazy is about to threaten your PC building dreams. Massive proliferation in the new AI industry has caused what economists call demand shock. This is where the sudden surge in demands for a huge number of different previously niche components have caused the prices to surge dramatically, and the ripple effect is huge. If you've ever wanted to build your own PC, but especially a high-end gaming PC, you'll have heard people talking about graphics cards, known in a wider sense as graphics processing units or GPUs. These do literally exactly what you think. They allow your PC to process graphics, which is to say, rendering animations, videos, images, 3D modeling, everything regarding visual output. The better the GPU, the smoother your visual experience is going to be with your new PC. The problem is generative AI data centers need those GPUs too, and they have got a lot more money behind them than you have. In the short term, the AI demand for GPUs is expected to raise their price by 15 to 20%, which is a pretty brutal hike. However, with the AI wars showing no signs of slowing down, those projections are pretty optimistic. NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 5070 Ti launched at a pricey but standard $749. Now it's selling for almost $1,000 thanks to AI companies driving demand so high that the PC supply chain can't keep up. An investigation from PC Mag found similar insane hikes with the RTX 5080. It started off retailing at $999, and now sometimes it goes for as high as an eye-watering $1,700. And these are the insane prices you'll get to pay if you can even find one, because the backlog is dominated by AI companies fueled by endless investor cash. And it is not slowing down. Micron's most optimistic prediction is that the current crunch on vital components won't ease up for at least 2 years, and that is just based on how things are right now. Micron isn't exactly winning any fans. They scaled back their consumer market business to focus on AI sales. And even there, orders are so backed up that the company has already declared itself sold out for 2026. Samsung and SK Hynix are the other two titans of the big three of computer component manufacturing. And they made high-bandwidth memory, the type most suited to AI data centers, their biggest point of manufacturing focus. Speaking of memory, GPUs are just the start of the problem. Enter the RAMPocalypse. Short for random access memory, it's basically the bedrock of modern computing thanks to its ability to store data while you're actually using it. Think of it almost like short-term memory in your brain. You can draw on key information without going all the way into the deep storage. It's the reason this video can run on your computer while you also have other tabs open. The point is, memory is king, and AI data centers need a lot of it. This has contributed to this ongoing memory crisis that started in 2024 and is going strong well into the start of 2026 too. This is a catastrophic problem for PC builders because you technically can have a working computer without a discrete GPU. But RAM is absolutely essential. And the cruel irony of it is it actually used to be one of the cheapest components when it came to building a custom PC. It made up as little as 10% of the overall cost as recently as mid-2025. Now it has rocketed up to over double its original price. Steve Mason is the general manager of CyberPower PC, a company that makes bespoke PCs to order. Businesses like his are ground zero for seeing just how badly AI has wrecked the supply chain and how those costs get passed straight to regular consumers. In his own words, we are being quoted costs around 500% higher than they were only a couple of months ago. Kelt Reeves and his custom PC business, Falcon Northwest, are feeling a similar pinch, with some of his high-end models going from around $5,800 to around $7,000. He said of this whole thing, "This isn't a consumer-driven bubble. Nobody is expecting this to be a quick blip that's going to be over with." And as with anything economic, we enter the worlds of domino effects and rapid chemical reactions. The increase in demand for these components in the AI sphere drives up the price in the consumer market, depressing sales. High AI sales combined with a depressed consumer market are leading companies like Micron and NVIDIA to believe the future is in AI. As a result, they are scaling back their consumer focus reducing supply and driving up prices for regular PC builders. And there is only one winner. The companies producing memory chips are loving this. According to the International Data Corporation, chip industry revenues are likely to increase by 28%, resulting in a staggering extra $1 trillion of profits. Most experts didn't expect these kind of numbers to hit until 2030, but here we are 4 years ahead of schedule. As the frenzy over processing and memory chips increases, people also inevitably end up seeing price surges in NAND flash memory chips, which process long-term memory. More on that whole debacle later. According to TrendForce, a Taiwan-based consultancy, the demand exceeds the supply for memory chips by over 10%, which is a lot more devastating than it sounds. In particular, AI is driving a huge demand for DRAM, dynamic random access memory. TrendForce predicts that DRAM prices could jump a staggering 40% next quarter. But why does AI need so much memory? That feels like a question worth asking as we try to process all this insanity. Generative AI models are trained on massive amounts of data that must be stored and accessed constantly. Without all that memory, these systems couldn't function at all. To quote Sanchit Viragoja, CEO of the tech advisory firm Greyhound Research, AI has changed the nature of demand itself. Training and inference systems require large, persistent memory footprints, extreme bandwidth, and tight proximity to compute. You cannot dial this down without breaking performance. This means the supply issues we're seeing will only scale as the AI industry grows. As models get more complex to stay competitive, the datasets needed to train them are becoming larger and more intricate, putting even more pressure on memory supply. This is currently causing real trouble for the AI industry too, as they're hitting what experts call the memory wall. This is what happens when performance outpaces the size and speed of available memory. Chip companies will likely focus on building new chips to meet AI demands, again pulling resources away from consumer products. Some estimates have placed around 40% of the world's RAM manufacturing devoted to a single AI project from just one company, the OpenAI Stargate project. It plans to invest $500 billion into AI infrastructure in the US, which they'll require even more memory for if they're able to get it off the ground. Lifehacker did some more in-depth research into RAM prices, and the results are shocking. G-Skill's 32GB DDR5 Trident Z5 went from $110 in August to $360 by December. The 64GB version shot up from $170 to $640, and the 16GB Ripjaws V jumped from $46 to $105, and that is just in December 2025. Prices have only gotten worse. You'll be extremely lucky to find RAM for under $100 now, and it only gets worse. After making GPUs and then RAM an unaffordable nightmare, it would surely make sense that the AI boom would next make solid-state drives or SSDs completely unaffordable to the average person. To give you a quick primer, memory and storage aren't the same thing in computing terms. RAM, which we've been discussing for most of this video, is memory, which is an active component that is only engaged when the computer is powered. SSDs are involved in storage, which retains the data even without power or when removed from a computer. To put it into perspective, your average laptop RAM holds 4, 6, or 8 gigabytes. Your laptop's solid-state drive, usually around 500 gigs. Now imagine AI systems devouring data constantly. They need drive after drive after drive to store it all, and that is where demand shock hits SSD prices too. Take the Lexar NM790 SSD, $66 in October 2025, $118 a month later, and then $150. And this is actually on the low end of insane SSD inflation. When you look at some of the higher storage SSDs, you get a grim vision of the future in just how unaffordable PC components are going to become. The 4TB version of the Western Digital Black SN850X SSD will cost you over $1,000 at Best Buy, if you can even find one. You'll get a slightly better deal at Newegg, but it'll still set you back over $500. AI data centers want this equipment, and them getting it means that you won't. Simple as that. There are almost 9,000 AI data centers operating across the globe, a number that experts expect to triple by 2030, and that explains all the hardware that's disappearing. But the cruel irony is, around 80% of these data centers are built in places that are either too hot or too cold for the hardware they're monopolizing to even run correctly. Data centers work in an optimum range of 64 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Of the 8,800 data centers in operation, 7,000 have been built in places outside of the Goldilocks zone. This means that they're not even running at full efficiency with the tech that could be powering your gaming experience. So what's the end game here? In a world where billionaires control the PC market and keep gamers out, there is only one place to turn to: the cloud. And while reports of Jeff Bezos saying the future is entirely in the cloud were actually pretty exaggerated, it looks like our personal computing power will keep getting shipped off to data centers. As the world becomes increasingly digital, the service providers will gain increasing control over everything we do. We won't buy memory, we'll just be renting it. If they want to revoke it or raise the subscription price, there's not much we can do about it. There seems to only be two plausible ways out. One is government regulation of the AI industry, but let's be honest, politicians aren't exactly known for reining in the people who fund their campaigns. The other, a complete burst of the AI bubble. And if that happens, it could take the entire American economy down with it, thanks to a few short-sighted bets. Now go check out real reason RAM prices are skyrocketing and getting worse, or watch this instead.